Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be comparing the Jeep Wagoneer to the Chevy Tahoe to see which full-size family SUV is best. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller, Dodge Ram, Jeep Chrysler here in Provo, and the Chevy here in Provo for giving me some time with both of the vehicles. I'll include a link to both of their websites in the description down below. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 6.2-liter V8 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 15 around town and then 19 on the highway, with power outputs being 433 horsepower and then 467 pound-feet of torque. Now, powering the Wagoneer is a twin-turbo 3-liter inline-6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 16 around town and then 23 on the highway, with power outputs being 420 horsepower and then 468 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the Tahoe, you can see that it's got a very sporty design. I mean, the grille's blacked out, the Chevy bow tie is blacked out. Notice the headlight bezel also darker. And you can see with how they construct the front end as well, it just kind of leads to a sporty theme. Whereas with the Wagoneer, it kind of has more of a luxury theme. I mean, look at the hood, for example, pretty boxy and straight with the lines, and then you can see very upright with the grille. There are some blacked out elements, but yeah, I feel like you've got kind of more of a luxury theme versus a sporty theme with these two vehicles. Now with the Tahoe, our tire wheel setup is 275/50/22 in the rear and in the back, whereas with the Wagoneer it's 275/55/20 in the front and in the back. So slightly smaller wheels, a little bit more sidewall, bigger wheels, a little bit less sidewall, and again, blacked out versus silver, so you kind of got more of a luxury experience there. And then look, we've got this painted fender flare, whereas this, we don't have any fender flares at all. Both of them actually have fixed side steps, which is a nice feature. And again, when you look at the lines here on this side, the Wagoneer is kind of softer with the lines. So here's your full side view with the Wagoneer. And then here's kind of like your side-ish view here with the Tahoe. Now when it comes to key fobs, you can see functionality is pretty similar, except the Tahoe does have the opening for the window as well, which is pretty cool. Now popping into the back of the Wagoneer, you've got this very thick carpeting, definitely has a plush feel. 12 volt here in the back, and then this actually lowers down the hatch. With the seats, you can fold them down for even more storage space if you want. And again, behind the third row is pretty decent, but yeah, easy with that. And then with the Tahoe, interestingly enough, yeah, not as like plush with the carpeting. With the seats, you can automatically fold down the third row. The second row, you can automatically fold down, and then you can raise up the third row as well. So that's a nice feature to have. And then you can see with little plaques there. And again, about the same amount of storage space, frankly. When you're all done, just press that and that will lower the hatch right back down. Now with the back of the Wagoneer, it's very squared off, and I think the taillight design on the Wagoneer looks pretty sharp. And you can see with the parking sensors and everything there at the bottom. With the Tahoe, on the other hand, again, sporty is the theme. I mean, look at the exhaust tips, for example. Those just pop out like crazy. And then you can see here with the Chevy bow tie taillight is a pretty cool design cue. But anyways, let me know if you like the look of the Tahoe more or the Wagoneer. Now in the second row of the Wagoneer, legroom's great. We've got a little storage pocket. We've got our own climate zone back here, a bunch of USBs, and then I like the trim on the door panel, it's nice. Headroom back here, it's also good. And then look at the seats here. They've got a nice finish perforated all down the center. And then in the third row of the Wagoneer, I fit back here just fine. Got some USB ports here, got a vent in the back. And then you actually have your own sunroof here in the back too. And these back seats, I think they look really nice as well. And then headroom back here, it's good. And now inside of the Tahoe, legroom back here is great. Got a little storage pocket, got some cup holders, heated seats, got our own climate zone. And again, sporty is the theme here. So you got like the red stitching and all of that. And then headroom back here, it's good. Now as to the third row in the Tahoe, you can still fit adults back here, but I think the Wagoneer third row and second row were a little bit more like open feeling, a little bit more comfortable. We've got some cup holders back here, USB port, no sunroof, but headroom, it's good. And then the seats back here, they have that nice perforated look, just like the second row seats, and they have like the red stitching there too, which is cool. And at the front of the Wagoneer here, nice closing sound with the doors, by the way. Got, again, soft touch trim. All the window controls are automatic. Got memory seats. Blind spot ring with the mirrors. Pretty upscale looking steering wheel, radio controls in the back, all of that. Digital gauge cluster here. You can see nice soft touch trim all across the dash. And then in reverse, we have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. And then we do have heated and cooled seats with this. Overall, the infotainment system is pretty easy to use. It looks like we got, oh, it does get second first response, but dual zone climate as well for the front. And then this is like our charging area inside. And then you do have, you know, like your auto stop start, stability control of that. Got the dial shifter here. This does have drive modes on this little dial here. And you can see with the cup holders, and then we got some storage there. And then also inside the center console as well. Nice trim on this. And then with the glove box, yeah, pretty big. And then we've got, again, a center front panoramic. Now we got to start up the Tahoe. Ooh, V8. A little bit of different sound with closing the door. Again, soft touch all over. Looks like just the front windows are automatic. You still have memory seats, power folding mirrors, blind spot running with the mirrors as well. Bunch of practical controls here on the side, including an advanced four-wheel drive system. No four-wheel low on either of them though. You can see light controls there too. Sporty again is the theme. I mean, look at the steering wheel, for example, with like the red stitching, radio controls on the back, cruise control of that. Digital gauge cluster just like the Wagoneer. And then this one has a 360 camera system, so that's a point for the Tahoe in this particular comparison. Now I will say the infotainment system in this, it seems like it's a bit quicker with the, not necessarily the response time, but like with the loading up time of certain screens. I do like the trim on the dash in this. I think it's really sharp. See that? We do have the button gear selector. Some of you might be a little bit opposed to that. We've got analog controls here for the radio, climate controls, heated seats. So no cooled seats with this, just heated seats. Wireless phone charging pad, some cup holders, and look at the center console. It's nice. And then we do have a panoramic center for this one as well. So the MSRP price on this Tahoe is about $79K. The MSRP price on this Wagoneer is about $72K, almost $73K. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility of the hood. Both the mirrors, do a blind spot running. With the rest of the rear. Ooh, that's a gold Kia Seltos. Let us set off in the Wagoneer and see how this compares to the Tahoe. Inline 6 turbo to naturally aspirated V8 goodness. We'll say nice torque out of the engine right off the bat. Seats are really comfortable in this too. So I'd say that's a big plus. And yeah, suspension's comfortable too. It seems like it drives well so far. Yeah, going over bumps and everything, the body control and everything, it handles it well. It handles all of it well. It's pretty quiet in here too. The doors, they kind of have that like Wrangler / G-Wagon type sound when you close them, like just a sturdy sound. I really like that. I wonder if Ford and Chevy are going to kind of change that with their cars to be more like the Wagoneer. Yeah, powertrain's super smooth. I mean, all the tuning, I mean, they've done a fantastic job here. And again, the cabin insulation with this is solid. Let's see what the acceleration feels like here. Yeah, pretty dang quick. Pretty dang quick. Again, can't go wrong with the twin turbo inline 6 at high elevation. This isn't even the high output version. You know, the high output's in the Grand Wagoneer. But anyways, summing things up here with a little drive with the Wagoneer before we pop into the V8 powered Tahoe. Really comfortable, and you can tell luxury is the theme. This is not trying to be sporty at all. It's just trying to be comfortable. It's trying to be luxurious. You know, Jeep kind of benchmarked Land Rover with a lot of what they're doing in terms of their, I guess, car theme is a way to put it. So yeah, that's what this does. It does that kind of luxury. I wouldn't necessarily say the Wagoneer is off-road because you know, I don't really have off-road tires and all of that, but It kind of does that luxury off-road type thing where it has that bigger look and all of that, but then it's just a comfortable vehicle to drive. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's the visibility of the hood, both the mirrors. Do a pause warning. Through the rest of the rear. And let us set off. Quick disclaimer, I'm using this driving portion for Tahoe versus Wagoneer video and then the standalone review on this particular Tahoe. Just so that we're all clear on that. So first off, yeah, it's comfortable. Seats are comfortable. And good torque out of the V8. Definitely quite a bit different than a turbo inline 6, but it's solid. Feels like it's got a good punch to it. Yeah, suspension's pretty comfortable too. Smooth drive. Gotta love the sound of the V8. What is this person doing? Only in Provo. Yeah, really clean sound though. Pop into the sport mode here. And other stuff, I mean, insulation's pretty solid in this. I like this trim on the dash, whatever this is. I think it's pretty cool. And see what the acceleration's like. V8 power. Sounds great. Sounds great. Yeah, it drives really well. I'm impressed. So, to cap things off with the RST performance, I think it looks cool on the outside. I think it drives well. It's got good power. It's got a V8. Can't go wrong with that. I mean, this has, you know, 1900 miles on the trip computer, 15 miles per gallon. Yeah, not the most economical, but I mean, it's the price you pay for a V8. So, let me know what you guys think. And if you are still tuned in, this is for the Wagoneer comparison. Just to quickly cap off there, the Wagoneer feels more luxury. Like I said, this feels more sportier. I will say though, the Wagoneer feels, and who knows what the long-term quality is going to be, but the Wagoneer feels like a higher quality vehicle in terms of the material use, and then the fit and finish in both of them is actually really good. I mean, this feels just as solid as the Jeep. But yeah, the Jeep just, and like the door closing sound, I know it's a random thing, but like that sounds fine. But the Wagoneer kind of has a more substantial sound. And then the pricing, so since Jeep lowered the price on the Wagoneer now, it actually makes the Wagoneer a really solid value, because I mean, this is almost 80 grand, whereas that's closer to $70,000, and very similar equipment with both. And the Wagoneer actually has more equipment in certain respects. So yeah, interesting. Coming into this comparison, I thought I was going to give the straight win to the Tahoe, but here's what I have to say is, I feel like long term, because these Tahoes have been out for so long, I feel like I could trust this a little bit more in terms of long-term reliability, and also naturally aspirated V8 that's more simplistic compared to the Wagoneer. But in terms of I guess a short-term outlook, the Wagoneer feels, I don't know, feels like a slightly nicer vehicle than the Tahoe. Again, really surprising to me. Did not expect that at all. But let me know what you guys think, and let me know which one you choose.